Greetings everyone, slizzle466 here, and in today's video I want to show you some wild decks that I've theorycrafted that you might want to try out after the card buffs hit on June the 3rd. So the first buff was Glue Sprayer going from 8 to 7 mana. In my opinion, this is actually a nerf. This card doesn't really see play in Wild. It does see play in Malygos Druid, as well as a Malygos Togwaggle Druid, because you can draw it off Psych Melon for 8 mana. The problem is, Azalina is also 7 mana, so I don't think this card's actually going to help to make any sort of viable deck. Second Druid card to get a buff is Mulch Muncher from 10 to 9 mana. Treant Druid's not a thing, and this just isn't going to happen. Sorry everyone. Necromechanic is being reduced from 5 to 4 mana, and whenever anything is Hunter related, let's ask Duin. Duin has this OTK list that he's been trying out a little bit. It's a Boommaster Flark OTK deck, and basically how it works is you play Geppetto into Baron, Rivendare, Necromechanic, or Boommaster Flark. Then you play your Feigned Deaths, or you could play an Explosive Sheep and a Feigned Death, and you can do a 32 damage OTK. Now obviously the cost of Necromantic at 4 means nothing to Geppetto, but just having it 1 mana less does give you some flexibility for a 2-turn OTK. Another Hunter card having its mana reduced is Flark's Boomzooka, down from 8 to 7. So let's ask Duin again. So Duin has a lot of different Secret Hunter lists. This specific one is a Secret Hunter list based around Flark's Boomzooka, 9 lives, Fugan and Stalag. And so as you might know, when Fugan and Stalag die, you get a free 11/11 minion on the board. If they both die at the same time, you get 2 11/11s. And so if Flark's Boomzooka can pull both Fugan and Stalag, you get 2 11/11s for free. Pretty good deal. Looking over at the Mage cards, Unexpected Results is being reduced from 4 to 3 mana. This is actually a card I really like, but it's really slow. Maybe just reducing it down 1 mana might be enough to put it into some sort of odd mage deck. This specific deck you're looking at is a popular list that you've been seeing on the ladder. It's got this crazy high roll with Corridor Creeper and Conjurer's Calling. But to get some extra high roll from Unexpected Results, we're running a few extra spell damage cards, such as Azure Drake. Black Cats are already very standard in the deck, and just something fun that may or may not work. Another Mage card getting a bigger buff than any card we've seen so far is Luna's Pocket Galaxy. It is getting a 2 mana reduction, and there's a really fun Malygos Mage deck created by Trips of Team Eternal Orbit that you might want to try out. Basically, having Luna's Pocket Galaxy reduced from 7 to 5 allows you to combo off fast with the deck. As long as you don't draw your Malygos, your Alexstrasza, your Emperor, you can combo off crazy early and OTK your opponent out of nowhere. Moving over to Paladin, there's been a lot of talk on social media about Crystology. A lot of people are thinking, is this going to make the cut for Odd Paladin? I really think no. And the reason for it is similar to how the quest in Murloc Shaman isn't good. You don't want to be playing a spell on turn 1. You want, as an aggro deck, you want to be getting a board on turn 1 as an aggro deck. So I really think Crystology is not a good card to be running in Odd Paladin. But maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong in the comments and let me know how it goes. Another Paladin card that I don't think is going to help at all is Glowstone Technician, going from 6 to 5 mana. Hand Buff Paladin is a deck, but it's a big meme deck, and I don't see how reducing this from 6 to 5 mana is going to help the deck in any way. Looking over at priest cards, Extra Arms is being reduced from 3 to 2 mana. The card More Arms is also being reduced from 3 to 2 mana. And one deck that I think would be interesting to try this out in is Inner Fire Priest, replacing Valen's Chosen with Extra Arms. So instead of getting +2/+4 and spell damage +1, you're getting +2/+2. But the fact that it's 1 mana less, I feel like it's potentially, you can just go crazy with Radiant Elementals to get maybe a faster OTK, although it's already very fast. But it's just something, maybe something a little different. Maybe this is better than the Inner Fire Priests we're already playing right now. Now, Cloning Device. I mean, 2 mana, this card is bad. At 1 mana, this card is bad. Pogo Hopper. Now this is one a lot of people are very excited about. Pogo Hopper is one of these cards that people just want to make work in Pogo Hopper Rogue, but it's just very weak and very slow. Having it reduced from 2 to 1 mana gives the archetype a lot of potential, but I had an idea of getting it into Quest Rogue. So with Quest Rogue, you're bouncing your Pogo Hoppers back and forth to complete your quest, but then they're also getting huge. So I think this would be an interesting take on Quest Rogue, something to try out. Another Rogue card with getting its mana reduced is Violet Haze. This card is just abysmally slow and useless at 3 mana, and it's abysmally slow and useless at 2 mana. I don't even know if I'd want to play it at 1 mana, but at 1 mana at least it's kind of good with an Auctioneer or something, but I don't see this card being of any use. We're going to look at both the Shaman cards at the same time. This is one of my most excited buff. We're seeing Stormbringer being reduced to 6 mana. For those of you who follow me on my different platforms, I love random legendary minions. I love cards like Weaponized Pinata. I love cards like Rotface. And just having this at 6 mana, I think it's going to have some potential in Even Shaman. A lot of the time with Even Shaman, you've got this border totems in a control matchup that are useless. Why not just make it legendary minions? Could be fun. Another card getting a buff is Thunderhead. It's getting its health increased by 1. Thunderhead was actually seeing a little bit of play in Even Shaman, and I think at 3/6 it might just make the cut. And so I've come up with this specific build of Even Shaman here. This is an Even Shaman build that is heavily teched against Big Priest, so that's why you see the Hex in there, that's why you see the Wind Fury. But I think it would be something fun to try out. Maybe it's not going to be as good as the traditional Even Shaman, but it's definitely something that can be a lot of fun and can basically give ridiculous board states because of the Stormbringer. Moving over to Warlock cards, Spirit Bomb is being reduced from 2 to 1 mana. Spirit Bomb doesn't see much play at all in Wild, and that's simply because Warlock has so much good stuff. It's even the point where even locks aren't even running Spirit Bomb in Wild. Having it going down to 1 mana isn't really going to do anything, because usually you're floating mana as a slow Warlock deck anyway. Having this in Zoolock is completely useless because you want this to go face, just like Soulfire does. Yes, you lose a card with Soulfire, but at least you can go face. Looking at Dr. Morrigan, this is another card that's just not good. 8 mana is just horrendously slow, very weak to silence. At 6 mana, at least it's a good body, but it's just really weak. It's just too heavy on the RNG, getting the minion you want from your deck. You would run it in some sort of combo deck, but again, it can just get silenced or pull the wrong thing. I don't think it's gonna see play. And the last set of class cards to get buffed are warrior cards. Both mechs. Security Rover is getting its health increased by 1. Beryllium Nullifier is getting its attack increased by 1. Now, in my mind, this is a buff for Dr. Boom Mad Genius. These would be amazing mechs to discover. Same thing with Omega Assembly. Like, these are great to get for free, but they're not good to put in your deck. You're not going to want to have these running in your deck. Obviously, Security Rover doesn't work in Odd Warriors even. I don't see a deck where it would work. But Beryllium Nullifier in Odd Warrior is just horrifically slow. Wouldn't recommend running it in the deck. And the last card is a new card, so we're all getting this card for free on June the 3rd. And it's going to be part of the Boomstay project. So this doesn't affect Wild at all, but in Standard they get this card for a year, and then it gets pushed over to Wild. Now, because it's a neutral, I think there's a lot of different crazy things you could test with this deck. Kind of similar to when we got Mara and the Fox for free, when we got Archmage Vargoth for free. So some decks that I think this could possibly have potential in are a lot of the aggro decks we're already seeing in the meta, but with a mech package put in. So Odd Mech Paladin, Aggro Mech Druid, Odd Mech Rogue. It might work. I'd also like to try this out in Odd Warrior just to see how it is. It's a 3-mana 2/3. Putting it onto an Eternal Rover could be pretty good. Mech Hunter definitely wants to test this card out. Maybe Mech Mage can make a comeback, but I really doubt it. But I'm sure someone's going to try. And I also think it's important that we just try the card out in any decks that are running Ziliax. So even if it's like a Mechathune lock that's running Ziliax and Anti-Keelbot, just try it out and see what happens. At the least, it's a Defile activator when it dies. So, really interesting card. I think there's a lot of potentially breaking things it can do. But again, lots of things to try out here. All of the deck codes for the Theorycrafted decks you saw are in the comments below. And if you have any other ideas you'd like to share, please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button to support the channel, click the notification bell to know when new videos are out, and until next time, I hope to see you again.